Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be doing the July pickups, and I couldn't have left it any later in the month. It's Sunday 31st of July, so I thought I'd better get cracking and go through what I picked up. A few items, probably not as much in terms of quantity as some previous months, but still some good things here. A few items I really wanted to, in order to kind of close down certain parts of the collection. So yeah, we'll talk a bit more about that in a second. But yeah, there's video games, there's a couple of at least 2 videos, a comic book, yeah, and so an array of stuff. So before we get stuck into that, really big shout out to Chris, GamingGrandad. I went to see him about 2-3 weeks ago. Went to kind of visit him for a few hours, had a chat with him, met his family, had a good bit of retro banter. Opportunity for a catch up. Also wanted to interview him for one of the upcoming issues of Evercade Evolution magazine. So yeah, learned loads of stuff about him that I didn't, previously know. A few years ago, he had his own, video game shops. That was like fascinating to to kind of listen and learn about that, that adventure, that part of his life. So that was super cool. And he provided a couple of t-shirts, one for me, one for my son. And really smart. So yeah, proud to be sporting the GamingGrandad wear, the official GG apparat. So loving it. So thanks, Chris. Really appreciate it. And yeah, had a really cool chat. And I'm sure we'll meet up again in the near future. I'll leave his channel details below. I know most of you probably already do follow and subscribe. Anyone that doesn't or isn't aware of him, then go and check out the details in his channel. Really awesome stuff. So there's that. I think the other piece, probably a couple of bits to mention. Having a big, fairly chunky sort out of the collection, just going through stuff, and I've always got that kind of space constraint. So really just challenging myself when what am I playing, what am I not playing, and I think in the past, perhaps like a lot of people, been guilty of just amassing some fillers just to kind of fill the shelves and the rest of it. But after a bit of thinking, there's quite a chunk of my Super Famicom collection, mainly cart only. I'm kind of going to be getting rid of that, or start to move those bits on. It's just slightly kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't say like regrettable, but I just don't invest as much time to them. I don't have like oodles of nostalgia for it. So yeah, Super Famicom and Famicom as well. So kind of whittling down a little bit. I think I'm going to keep some of the, I haven't got any big hitters, but some of the bigger games, the titles I do play, because I've got the retro, whatever it is, Trio HD, where you can literally whack in any region, any format. It kind of does its thing. So some games, maybe it's shooters and some platformers, I'll keep. Similarly with the M64, I do have a bit of nostalgia for this, and this was going back to kind of uni days, where like late 90s, it's been console must have just come out, and we got an N64 with like GoldenEye, like Mario Kart, Turok, and a couple of Automobili Lamborghini, and is it Dark Rift? There was like a fighting game as well. Wasn't all that, but I mean, I have got the means to play it. I've got the console, but again, it's not really set up. And out of all the consoles that are kind of a bit on standby, it's probably one where it's going to be bottom of the N64, bottom of the pile. So going to be moving on that stuff. And then the final piece is probably more of a question mark. Is around PS1, and again, the only nostalgia I have for that was at uni, when within our house, 7 of us, it was all a bit mental. We had the N64, but then there's another kind of group of mates. A few of them had PS1s or just PlayStations at the time. So we did. That was kind of my first intro into PS1. So since then, it's probably in the last like 10 years, I grabbed a console. I haven't got very many games. Certainly, I think I've got like Silent Hill 1. It's probably the biggest game that I've got, and the others are probably like 5-10 quid a pop type titles. So don't really play that. So again, I'm kind of in a bit of a bit of a quandary. And that kind of then, on the flip side, I've been focusing on, you know, what do I really want to kind of continue collecting for. So if I look at my GameCube collection, there's probably a couple of games in there I quite like to get. I'm not massively in some of the remaining RPGs for that. I mean, they're fairly pricey, and I could live without them. From a Dreamcast perspective, again, I've probably got most of the stuff I'd like. I've got probably 3 Dreamcast, but one of them is a GDEMU, so some of those rarer games I can get through that, or I could get, you know, if it's super pricey, then my opinion anyway, reproduction avenue is a valid one, so I'd pursue that. So probably not after any more titles for that particular system, which kind of really leaves the Sega Master System, and I've had a really calculated kind of just view, looking at, okay, what have I got, what do I need, what you know, there's a lot of big hitters now. It's not kind of mince our words. There's a lot of big hitters for that system that albeit some I'd probably quite like to, you know, experience and play. You don't want to shell out that amount of money for those games. So to be honest, I probably would consider you know, an emulation kind of an EverDrive kind of, you know, equivalent for some of those big titles, particularly when you've got me the likes of, is it Masters of Combat, you know, going for like 700 quid and then £1,000, and then some lunatic now putting it on eBay for £2,000, which I genuinely think is just to kind of amass some watches, and then all of a sudden they'll drop the price to something which is a chunk less but still crazy ludicrous, and then someone will jump on it. But it's not looking healthy, I don't think. Some of those eBay prices are quite, I don't know, make you feel a little bit uncomfortable. I mean, I think the most I've shelled out on a game is probably a couple of £100, and even that I was really wrestling with myself as to, particularly with the game that it was, wrestling myself as to, you know, is this something I really want to do? And that was a real like exception. By and large, all the others are way, you know, typically south of 100 quid with a few exceptions. But yeah, that kind of Sega Master System realms has just gone a bit mental. But there were some games I wanted to get, and it was kind of within my means to get, and we'll come on to them in a bit. So I think, yeah, pretty much now maybe some smaller titles for the Master System, but then I think I'm good with that. So I'm going to try and, you know, focus on the Game Boy. I'm still getting loads of loose carts, probably my biggest collection. Mainly loose if there's a box one and it's kind of, you know, reasonable price, or I've already got, you know, the cart and the manual. I'm trying to maybe do a bit of a tootie and kind of build separate bits and kind of pull them together into the complete package. So I'm trying a bit of that at the moment, grabbing some big, you know, bundles of instruction manuals and a few kind of box only ones as well, just to get the full piece. But your Game Boy is definitely Game Gear as well, and I need to start to go through and see, okay, which of the Game Gear games you know, aren't, you know, ports from the Master System, which ones are kind of, you know, they're kind of almost exclusive or unique. Might not be a unique title, but the actual gameplay, the design development is unique to the Game Gear. So we'll be cracking on with that. Trying to think, yeah, then I think linked to that, because I have had a bit of a sort out, I will be doing like a games room tour. I've got like a corner, so like a games corner tour at some point in the near future. So yeah, look out for that. Recently completed the retro collecting with Retro Ed and friends. So yeah, ended up, crumbs, I think it was like 4 episodes of that. The response was just like blooming overwhelming. It was amazing, the amount of people that wanted to get involved and was kind of sending footage. It was just, yeah, really cool, and I'm really thankful to everyone that helped out. My part in it was topping and tailing, a little bit of editing. It's a bloody cinch, to be honest. So it's all the people that provided, you know, the footage and moreover the ideas were the ones kind of fueling the content. But that was a lot of fun. Something a bit different that I hadn't done before, and it's kind of getting me thinking now about, you know, what do I do next. So a few ideas, but nothing fully kind of fledged or like a given. I did a bit of a, say, gameplay video. I did like a review of Robocop for the Game Boy, and I kind of supposed to just having solely kind of gameplay and that's kind of it. I tried to do something, I don't know, I'm sure it's been done, everything's been done on YouTube, but for me anyway, it was a bit different in that I had the gameplay, slightly different music playing, still linked to the game, but like the title screen music, and then just some thoughts, some text popping up as to how I felt about the game, I think the specky version, and also the film itself, and I've popped up little images and bit of footage every now and again. So I think I'm going to do a few more of them, just a bit different editing, different kind of technical skills as well, which I think is quite decent to do. But yeah, if you haven't seen that one, then yeah, by all means go and check it out. Leave me a comment with what you think, good, bad, or indifferent. It just helps me get better, and also gives me views to what people find interesting or what they don't find interesting, and then I can use that really to work out what I'm going to be doing after, because I don't want to get in a sole rut of just doing pickup videos. I quite like doing them just to have a bit of a catalogue of what I've got, and I think over the next few months, it's slowed down a bit this month, but in future months, maybe kind of similar or fewer amounts. I want something else to, shouldn't just be about pickups, in my opinion, for this channel. I want to focus on some other stuff, maybe some Let's Get Physical as well needs to finally make an appearance. But anyway, we're about 10 minutes in, let's get stuck into the pickups themselves. I've got one Switch game to show. I'm going to pronounce it wrong. I think it's Live Alive, even though it looks like it should be Live Alive. I think it's a rehash of, I think it was Super Famicom game, which you can see in the corner, Square Enix game. So it's been, basically redone, some bloody beautiful, like amazing, graphics in this one. It's an RPG. You've got, I think it's about 6 or 7 like different worlds, different eras. You play a different character in each one. I've done 2 of the worlds so far, which by the way you can tackle in any order that you want, and then once you've gone through them there's like a final level. But I've done like the prehistoric one. You probably can't see if I get a chance, I'll put footage up, but obviously it's on trailers and all that, already be on YouTube and other things. So yeah, I've done the prehistoric one, a fair bit of kind of just grinding as you're trying to like level up. Crafting bit was quite cool, because you need that in order to work out the puzzles to further progress. But it was a bit of a kind of clan on clan battle, so that was quite interesting. I did wonder whether or not all of the levels were going to be like this, the first one, but the second one certainly was very different. So the second one was with Twilight of Edo, Japan, but you basically play a ninja, a bit of shinobi sort. You have to invade this kind of fortress, and you can play the game in different. We can take different routes around this fortress, this kind of old castle. You've got to like rescue someone, but you can go a bit of kind of stealth mode and just kind of creep around, or you can just go full all out violent, blood, guts and the rest of it. And unsurprisingly I went with the latter. I think it's like 99 enemies to get through, and some big ugly bosses. And I have to be in the right kind of mood for RPGs. It has to be the right kind of RPG. For me it's kind of turn-based, but there's so much variety in the characters, in the enemies, in the attacks. Bit less grindy on the ninja level than the first one. It was really good fun, and just beautiful artwork, really cool. So looking forward to getting stuck into the other levels. But there's like Wild West, like future, more of like a robotic one. There's like a one in China, present day. So I think I've sunk probably, I don't know, about 7-8 hours. First level was fairly quick to get through, but the second one with the shinobi, because I wanted to take absolutely everyone out, took a bit longer. But yeah, good game, recommended. I'm going to jump around the media here. So we've got a couple of films. This one, excuse me, this one popped up when I was at Nerdbase. I was with Billy, car strength gamer, and having a look around, and one of the cabinets, I was looking for like bootleg toys, as I've got a weird habit of doing. I couldn't find any, but the back, this video cover was staring at me. So yeah, The Warriors, absolutely awesome film. I think arguably now it's a bit of a cult classic, 1979. What's it about? It's kind of like, it's a guess a street gang, New York City, and they're basically been stitched up for one of the big leaders' murders. Someone's kind of taken them out, and they need to basically get through all the territories to get back to, I think, Coney Island, where their gang kind of originates from. So in doing so, they have to pass through the territories of all of these other gangs, and there's kind of scary baseball dudes. There's people on like roller skate gangs. It's brilliant, and the music's quite dark, with a bit of a moody kind of outlook on it, but some classic bloody lines. Bloody brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And you may have noticed this is slightly smaller than a VHS, and that's because it's a Betamax, which is even more blooming random. And it's like, it wasn't easy to get out, so I didn't want to do it painfully on video, so I removed the Betamax before I started filming. But yeah, kind of cool. Obviously, I have no Betamax player or whatever, but it looks cool on the shelf. So yeah, got Warriors, and then I've always said I wouldn't fall down the bloody VHS rabbit hole, and so far I'm sure I've got some other ones around the house, but this is the only one in here with a kind of bit of a retro collecting view in mind. But yeah, RoboCop, like big box, Virgin edition, absolutely. That's because I've done the Game Boy footage and bloody RoboCop on my mind. So yeah, it's RoboCop. Probably not much more to say about that. Let's mix it up a little. So it's a company, what's it about, like a publisher, or certainly kind of making means for people to release Game Boy games, like new Game Boy games, and it's Ferrante Craft. So presumably people will develop them, get in touch with Ferrante, and then through their kind of website, it's like a bit of a very mini-me kind of Etsy. They can push them out. So they're very cheap. I'm sure they're from Holland. So it's kind of, yeah, even with postage, it wasn't that much, and you get a nice little case, no boxes or anything. So you've got 3 of these, like Death Planet, obviously Space Game. Best way to describe this is it's almost a bit like I don't remember the levels in the original Star Wing, where you've got to kind of navigate around. You've got blocks coming towards you, and you've got to find the gaps, and it's your somersaults and the rest of it. It's like that. It's a very simple game, but like for the Game Boy 3D, it actually looks pretty impressive. It's a bit of fun, really. Probably no prizes for guessing what game this one's linked to. This is G0. Obviously a bit of a very light Game Boy compatible version of F-Zero, and yeah, it's okay. It's there's a few kind of enemies and or opponents, I should say, when you're kind of going around. But a couple of corners in, I haven't played it that much. We've done like 3 or 4 tracks, but you very quickly overtake them, and then it does become fairly straightforward. I don't think there's any like brake or anything. You literally just release off the throttle, so and inertia's kind of pushing you towards the wall, and you've got like an energy bar which gets to zilch, and obviously the car blows up, and that's that. So it's okay. It looks good. Not plenty of replay. If I'm being picky, and perhaps I am, because it's, you know, Game Boy after all. This one looks a bit more risque than in fact it actually is. Adulting, and say like an RPG, more of a kind of a life playing game where it's like a top down thing, really well drawn, and you've just got to do, sounds around like a bit mundane daily tasks, like get some coffee filters or do like your tax return and stuff. But you'll go to like your little computer and do you want to do your tax returns, like yes, and then there's a problem with the modem or whatever, so it's like, you know, now to find the modem to get it reset, you go to the front room, and I think it's like your lodger or your housemate's there, and you go to reset it, and he's like, no, I'm doing this, you can't reset it. So there's a kind of a sequence, a knock-on thing. You have to like walk the dog does a crap in the park, and then you kind of, I think first you have to work out where the dog wants to actually do his business, to find the right place, and then you have to be careful picking it out. It's like, it's really I'm not really selling it, but it's a lot of fun. It's a really cheeky game. But yeah, short game. I think within crumbs, half an hour, 40 minutes. These are cheap titles, but half an hour, 40 minutes, I was done. But it was really good fun. Really good fun. Lovely to see people making new games for old systems. Yeah, let's do these two next. I'm still doing a bit of the old. What's the word? Not kind of insomnia, but like middle of the night eBaying, just seeing what's finishing at certain times, and sometimes I'll set a bit of a bid just before going to bed or whatever. But this one came up, and it's in. Yeah, I'm not going to get everything out, but it's all complete, and I got it for £13.50. Woke up and it's like, you've won. Da 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 da. I was like, holy moly! Super Star Wars. I'm over them. I've got the loose cart already, but I thought, it just looks nice on the shelf. Obviously, it's Star Wars. I do love me Star Wars. It's not perfect. There's some corner bashes and things like that, but a little mark there. But by and large, it's really nice. And for that price, yeah, got bloody lucky. Got really lucky. So loving that. And yeah, my in-laws for my birthday got me like a few bits, and the bottom of the bag was this, and kind of my mind is blown. But yeah, Star Wars comics, like 2015. Not really a kind of a reboot. I think it was that the timeline is between episode 4 and 5. It's Skywalker strikes. I haven't kind of read it in full, but I need to find out where they got it from. But yeah, a few signatures on the front. R2D2. So yeah, Kenneth Baker, David Prowse, the large actor who was in Darth Vader, and it does look like James Earl Jones at the top. But I need to. Yeah, it doesn't. All the others, obviously, Dave Prowse always does. That is Darth Vader, and similar with Kenny Baker, always does R2. But yeah, I need to do a bit of investigation on that and work out the origins as well. Have a chat with them as to where they got it. That's super cool. Back to the games. So yeah, a while ago, the fantastic James from Sweet Radish Gaming had a GBA, Game Boy Advance cart that I needed, and he pinged it through. The great chap that he is, and it's Yoshi's Universal Gravitation. Really kind of funky little game. And for whatever reason, again on eBay, I was kind of hunting around, looking at like box only stuff, and it's got the insert, it's got the manual, I think a little, not necessarily like a poster, but like a promotional thing, and obviously the box itself, but like super condition. So this plus what I've got from James now means I've got a lovely complete version. I've got a super geeky, and now I've got pretty much box protectors for anything cardboard at the moment, with the bar a couple of Game Gear games. I don't have too many of. Most of them now are all packaged up. So there's that one. This one, yeah, maybe it's playable. I'm not entirely sure how much Japanese is in it, but just the box art itself and the price and just the quality of the just like super awesome. Thought I'd get this year Ghostbusters 2 for the Game Boy, which is pretty wicked. And then the final piece is really, it goes back to what I was saying at the beginning of the video, looking through my Master System collection, saying, right, let's be honest here, certain games which I just, even if I had the money, I'm not going to go for. Master of Combat, Power Strike 2, I've got a bit of a ropey version of Buggy Run. I think it's without manual. So we upgrading those is it's a bit of a no-no, but there's a few other games I really wanted. And yeah, I've gone all in really. So a combination of Facebook groups, a couple of really cool sellers, eBay, and Retro Hunter. If I get my brain in gear. The first one was from eBay. One that's been a bit of a built-in system version is probably the most straightforward or common way to play it. But yeah, Alex Kidd in Miracle World. But getting it, yeah, a nice box isn't always that straightforward. And it's even got like the 1987 catalogue. I mean, let's have a quick look at the catalogue. It's always a nice, yeah, nice touch. I'm going to go through all of it. Yeah, a colour catalogue. Retro Red Steve's favourites. Bit of Wonder Boy. Final one. Ghost House. Yes, that's really cool. Chuffed with that. Next one, let's do this one. So yeah, another was it Facebook group one. Missing the hang tab, but that aside, it's in pretty nice condition. So E's or Y's, I think it's E's. So the only game of this I played is the one of them that's on the Switch, which is pretty decent. Obviously, like an RPG. Yeah, a bit kind of follow. There's a bit of an iron. There's a bit of TLC on that on the manual. But yeah, chuffed with that. And these next three are, no, hang on, two of them are from Retro Hunter. One of them is from Retrogames-co-uk. We'll do that one last. The Retro Hunter one, so from the Fantastic Alley, I went in and saw this on the shelf. So like Ultima 4, and the manual is like spectacular. It's got the bloody map. I think some, I don't know if it was all, but some did come with a couple of books, and that just like pushes the prices up to crazy territory. So I'm good without the books, without the backstory or whatever. But yeah, just really chuffed to have that one. And yeah, I was chatting with him, and there's this game. I don't think it's particularly. It's not expensive, and I wouldn't say it's like rare, but it pops up periodically on eBay, but rarely without, I say rare, infrequently with a manual, and if there is one, then it's not particularly great. So I was chatting with Ali and said, look, have you got a copy of Golvelius? Because there wasn't one on the shelf, so I'm trying to get this blooming game. And sequence-wise, this is the last one. I'm going to show you one after, which is kind of special, but this is kind of the last one that I bought, which is kind of pretty much squares off the Master System collection. For me, but yeah, Golvelius, and he's like, look, yeah, I've got one. Sure, I've got one out the back, and it's like the ruddy TARDIS in Retro Hunter. So it goes out the back, and I bought a few other bits and bobs, and the nice fella that he is, just chucked it in. So what a fantastic way to kind of end that journey. Maybe there's some cheaper ones which I might pick up along the way. Like I said, it's not a particularly expensive game, just being a real bugger for me to find for some reason. As soon as I want, one of those things, as soon as you zoom in on something and you want it, then all of a sudden you can't bloody find it. Chuffed with that. Now the final one is, Retrogames.co.uk. It's a game I've been looking for a while. The game, last time I played the game, was early days at secondary school when I did weekend swapsies with someone for, I probably would have lent them some like Time Soldiers, or I didn't have like a whole load of games, and I didn't massively appreciate it at the time because it was my first foray into RPGs. But yeah, the game is Phantasy Star, and it popped. He had a Jace. He's an absolute top guy. I'll leave a link to his channel below. He does a fantastic what's new on retro games. For whatever reason, I looked on a Thursday, and he normally does this video on a Friday, and he started to, bits have been uploaded, and I was like, oh my god, he's got a copy. And it's always stuff's really well valued there, and it's a lot cheaper than, a hell of a lot cheaper than eBay. Most stuff, including this, was about half the price, about 35-40% cheaper what you find on eBay. And even he said, it's one of the finest kind of versions he's seen, of the game, and it's spectacular. such a clean copy. Like the manual is just, it doesn't look like it's been bloody opened. So really looking forward to playing this one again and hopefully enjoying it a bit more than I did the first time round. And that is it, guys. So yeah, hope you're all well, hope you enjoyed. If you got any views as to what I picked up, stuff that you liked, stuff that you didn't, any ideas for kind of future video series or anything like that, fuel some creativity. And if you're not already subbed and you like this kind of video and content, then of course I'd love you to subscribe. So it's free to do so. Chuck me a like if you feel so well inclined. But otherwise, I will love you and leave you, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.